Welcome to the Krista Escamilla Show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of the Krista Escamilla Show, and a happy end of school year to you. I know it's a busy time, and I know everyone's ready for summer, so we're so glad you're spending some time with us. Maybe you're road tripping right now. I hope you are. Wherever you're at, we thank you for being here today. We also, before we introduce our amazing guests, I want to thank all of our sponsors. So a huge shout out to Rig ID Workwear, to Omni Midland Hotel, the Lachlan, also to the Preserve, and Kevin Foreman of Foreman Financial, Thin FR, Midland Cap Company, and joincapclub.com. We appreciate your support. Go support local. If it's not those businesses, support any local businesses. They will appreciate you, I promise you. Okay, now for those amazing guests. I'm so excited to introduce to you today Adam Cunyus. He is the partner and manager of The Preserve, and Sallie Vega. She is construction and project coordinator for Dahlia. Thanks so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
This is exciting. I love hearing about all the growth in West Texas and Midland and all the good things, and y'all are doing some good things. But first, I want to hear your story. How did both of y'all get here to West Texas?
So I grew up here. My family's been here since 1995.
Awesome.
So I graduated from Lehigh. I am a rebel at heart, but I'm a bulldog mama.
So you can wear purple and maroon.
Well,
and
only purple now. I
Okay.
can't wear maroon anymore. So yeah, I just been in this area, grew up here, raising kids here now. Yeah, I grew up on the east side of Midland and all that good stuff. So I'm here now.
So
I work
glad
for
you're
Dahlia.
here. I love that. And
Yeah.
Adam, how'd you get to West Texas?
I think it was kind of destined to be here. Ultimately, I studied at Texas Tech and got a degree in petroleum engineering. From there, my first job was in Carlsbad. Then we moved to Arkansas, and during that stop, got married. My wife's from Denver City. So, I have in-laws in this part of the world, and I'm a flatlander at heart anyway. So I love Lubbock, I love Midland. So we moved from Arkansas back to Artesia, and I worked for the Yates family over there for a little bit, and then wound up over here working for a small family-owned oil and gas company. That kind of led me into starting an operating company in 2013. And then we started a couple of service companies along the way. And about 2017 is when we got into real estate with my partner in Dahlia. His name's Ian Denholm. He couldn't be here with us today, but...
Hi, Ian.
And so we started doing that, and we started doing industrial development, mainly, shops for oil field service companies, things of that nature. And we continue to do a lot of that today through Dahlia. When this opportunity popped up for the Preserve, we thought we'd jump on it. So
Great. Well, how did that come about? Because, it's a lot of people, they may think, oh, that'd be a great spot for something, right? But how did it come to be?
Well, ultimately it was for sale, and we were looking for a new project. We'd been doing industrial, and we've done quite a bit of it. We've done over 50 buildings and over 1 million square feet of space. And
Great.
so kind of wanted the next challenge, and we wound up buying an office building. So there was an opportunity it's where we currently office. It's right across the street from Rosa's, and it's where BCCK was at. They owned the building, and they wanted to sell it, and so we bought it. They stayed in the building, but that got us kind of a taste for something other than industrial development, and that was a complete reno. We took it down all the way to the frame and built it back up, but we enjoyed doing that. And so it was like, okay, well, what do we do? What's our next project outside of industrial? Yeah. And so at the time we'd heard and we'd seen too, because this was in late 22, and we had seen and watched Nueva Vista had gone under contract once before. Very vocal pushback. I think that honestly that was an out-of-town developer. They were kind of going about it a little bit aggressively, and
Was that going to be like apartment complexes or
something? Yeah,
something?
It was very, very, very dense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and lots of condos, lots of residential. Mm-hmm. There was a little bit of space that was earmarked for commercial, but not a whole lot. Mm-hmm. Probably just would have been the frontage on Wadley, but it failed ultimately 0-7 with City Council as far as rezone goes. And my understanding of the situation is that contract was contingent upon rezone, and so contract terminated. Yeah. and it had to sit there for a little while. But so that's when we came along at the end of 22. It'd been about a little over a year since it had gone through council and failed, and we thought we had a better idea of it or for it. And talking to just a handful of people, some of which live in grasslands, the idea was kind of, we need more things in Midland for families to do. And there was a really good analog in Abilene called Allen Ridge.
Oh yeah, I've heard of it. Yes.
It's really cool. It's right north of the ACU campus. And so we looked at that. We're like, we really like this. We contacted those architects that did that.
Okay.
And that's who we're using for the preserve. And that's where the concept came from. It's like, let's do a lot less dense. Let's listen to the neighbors who didn't want that density, and they wanted some sense of preservation of just nature, which is kind of where the hike bike trail around it comes from.
Which I'm so excited for. So my husband and I have walked that. We live right there, and walk along the white picket fence every day. We have walked there for 25, unless we have work or kids or kids functions, but walk there every day for 26 years and love the beauty of it. So I'm so excited about the bike trail and the walking trail that you're going to incorporate. That's exciting. You said something earlier. You said opportunity, and I love that word because this is an opportunity to bring something for families, not only the zoo, but also the walking trail, but to be able to eat on the water.
Yes.
I mean, we don't get to do that much here in West Texas. So explain.
At all. Yeah.
I know you're excited, right? You've got
I'm
kids.
so excited. Just as a mom, and of course, a Midland native, there truly wasn't anything here to do. And I know the kids say that now sometimes, but growing up, there really wasn't anything to do. And just
so, what did you do? Like now, I'm curious. So, growing up here, what?
Was my mom watching? We hung out in
put your fingers in your ears on this part.
We hung out in a lot of caliche pits, and but truly, there really wasn't, unless you were unless you played football, or were sports, which I was not. There really just wasn't a whole lot, and so now. Just thinking of the opportunity for my kids to get to play, on the green, or it just really magical just to even think that little bitty Midland is going to have something so incredible, and that I get to be a part of it with these guys, and it's truly just really awesome.
Awesome. So if you just moved here, or if you're listening from around the world, hi to all our listeners around the world, thank you. Let's explain what the preserve will be. So in a little more detail, because there's a couple of different parts to it. You mentioned a little bit of retail, a little bit of restaurants, but let's talk about what it all encompasses and what families can look forward to.
Sure. So generally, it is a mixed-use development. So what that means to us is that there is going to be a combination of restaurants, so food and beverage. There's going to be retail, and there's going to be office as well. And so, and not to mention, the first zoo in the country in the last 25 years.
Which is so cool.
Yeah.
Think about that. The first one to be built in 25 years.
Since Magic Kingdom.
Wow. That's incredible. That is great.
It's really cool. And getting to learn more about that, working hand in hand with the zoo group's been super fascinating.
Yeah.
Like really, really cool. And, they've had the zookeeper, Jason Green, has been on staff with them now for a few years. So, for a while when we weren't moving any dirt, everybody was like, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen.
Right.
But it's happening.
That's
so we're out there moving dirt now. So, but yeah, anyways, back to the preserve. So what it is where the actual construction is going to be consists of about 65 acres or so. That doesn't include the lake. There's going to be about a 12-acre, 13-acre pond. It will be constant level. It will be stocked so that you can fish in it.
Fish off the back.
Fish off the backside, as our partner Ian likes to say.
Awesome.
And what's includes a boardwalk. So, in the whole idea and theme of it is that one thing that we have nothing like in town. When you go to towns like Austin or Dallas or Houston, where you find these certain neighborhoods, typically they're newer and they've been redeveloped in such a manner where it's a little bit retro, if you will. It's kind of going back to like when people walked around a lot instead of drove around a lot. So what we want and what we're trying to accomplish with its design is to attract people in, park, and then walk around and go do things.
And stay.
I love it.
Stay.
Make
I
a day
love
of it. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think that is a great concept.
It is.
And so needed, especially, we're almost empty nesters, and
Ooh.
and 16-year-old has a car, right? So we don't see him
Oh.
on the weekends. So like on a Saturday, this is the perfect thing to do, is you can
is.
go and walk around and spend the whole day shopping, eating, enjoying, and
Yeah.
and really just enjoying where you live. I always say love where you live,
Yeah.
and you should love where you live.
It is,
this
and
great.
that's really the main theme here. And I am a mom to an athlete, and we spend a lot of time in Dallas and San Antonio. And
Oh, sport mom, I
Yes.
see you. I see you.
So
Woo,
it's nice
a lot,
to think
right?
like, oh, I'll get to stay here, and people will want to come here for tournaments, or because we have things to do, in the hotels and all that, and all of that is just money coming into Midland.
Yes.
More commerce, it's what we all want, and it's nice that my husband and I get to spend our money here.
I
And
love that.
Yeah,
And with the Midland Athletic Syndicate in
Absolutely.
the works, and
Midland's
and
gonna be a
Beale
really cool
Park.
place.
I mean, we are this is almost like, I'm just really seeing this resurgence here coming, that we're really just pouring back into our
Yeah.
community and building it for the next ones. There's a great
Yes.
quote that says, "Plant the tree under the shade you will not sit," or something like that. I'm sorry if I'm
Yeah,
butchering that.
yeah.
But y'all are planting these trees, and you will get to sit for
Literally
a little bit.
and figuratively.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, we've got a lot of trees.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which the next generation and generations to come will get to
Yeah,
enjoy.
I'm a little jealous that mine are a little bit older.
Me
but
too,
It's
me
okay.
too.
It's okay.
That's okay.
They'll come back and visit me with my grandkids.
Exactly. That's what I'm looking forward to. Let's talk about some of the questions. You said, moving dirt, you're about 75% done. Or is that correct? Am I
Yes.
saying that correctly?
So yeah,
in
on the
construction?
south side, so where we are currently constructing and where all of the big yellow iron is currently, it's about 75% done with a mass grading, and about 99% done with the utility work. So stormwater, water, and sewer. So all of that's in the ground for the most part. We got a couple of connections left to do, but so what will happen now is we will push north, and so we'll go on further. And I think in about July we should be ready to turn the zoo tract over to the zoo. They own that tract. There's 51 acres that they own, but we are coordinating and working the flat work on their behalf, and so we're going to get it to a point where we can turn it over to them,
Oh, okay.
and then they can begin their work. And they're going to start with their exterior fence, or at least that's the current plan,
Perfect.
to help kind of shield, touch the
No,
mic,
you're good.
but, to kind of help shield, the work, the site of the work, the noise of the work, unfortunately. And we're running 4 water trucks every day, nonstop. Those things are just on a constant loop, and we're doing our very, very
Yeah, I've
best
seen them. Yeah. they're
to
doing
keep
great.
dust down. But we live in West Texas, and it is late spring, early summertime. The wind's going to blow, and there's not a lot we can do about, keeping all of it down. It's just not feasible. So,
Right.
but with these extra steps that we're taking, and we've been interfacing with city staff and city leadership quite a bit, trying to accommodate all of the residents out there as best as we possibly can, and disturb as little as we can. But it is construction. But the good news is that it's finite. It's gonna come to
Right.
an end.
Yes.
And so we're
And-
just trying to get there.
Yes, and you only construct, within city hours. It's 7 to 7, and so there's, there's so much benefit that's going to be there. So there might be a little bit right now where you're seeing some construction happening, but once it's done, it is going to be so amazing that you'll forget all about it.
Yeah, it's like you won't even
what
think about it. It's like having a
construction?
baby. You don't even think about.
I love that analogy, Sally. Yes, I could not agree more.
Yeah.
After baby 1, I was like, all right, let's do baby
Yeah,
number
you don't
2.
even
You
remember.
forget about
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Let's
3,
run this back.
4. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's run this
Yeah.
back. I love that. But I'm so excited to learn a little bit more about. And I know timelines are one thing that we don't ever go, we're sticking to this timeline.
Especially in construction.
Especially in construction. But in general, when can people start to, expect to see maybe a restaurant out there, or the zoo opening, just these little and remember, these are flexible timelines.
Fluid.
But what's in general? What are we looking at?
So generally, the phase 1, what we call phase 1, which consists of all of the flat work, so all of the rough grading, all of the utility work, all of the roads on the entire site, should be done about January, February of 2026.
Great.
And Then you get to a point where you begin to do site grading. So it's much more localized and compartmentalized, but then you're building up your building pads and you're doing those things.
Right.
Concurrently with that, what we will be doing is constructing all of the amenities. So we'll come back through and do the actual parks and the boardwalk and get the lake done and all of that. And so as far as when a building would be up and ready to occupy, my best guess at this point, because we have about, park work, we have about a year to do there. So that'll put us into Q1, Q2 of 2027.
Okay.
But we can be building buildings alongside of that as well. And so I would expect to see first buildings open for business mid to late 2027.
Fantastic.
That's us. The zoo is going to be middle of 28.
28.
As long as everything goes well with their timeline as well.
Right. And we all understand these are flexible.
Yeah.
But it's good to know, like, an in general timeline. And you mentioned parks because, as a parent, parks are huge for families to go to. Is this going to be an open public park that anyone can come to?
Yeah, that was our idea.
I love it.
Eventually, that white picket fence that's there won't be there. Like, once
Okay.
we get done construction, that'll be removed. And then, literally, it's anybody that lives in the neighborhood that wants to can walk right onto the property, hop onto the trail, walk around to whatever you want to go
trail.
see or do. And so, yeah, I know a lot of the folks on Homestead have gates in their back fence, and they're typically those wrought iron fences. And so, if they so desire, feel free, open up, walk in.
Jump on the trail.
Jump on the trail, do whatever you want to do. So yeah, it's
Fantastic.
meant to be very public, and that park, that piece of the park is, surrounds the perimeter of the property. So
Yeah.
from the northwest side all the way around to the northeast side. And then we have parks in the middle. We have what we refer to as the central green, which kind of sits in the middle of the property. And that has a covered pavilion. It has a private street that we can block off. We can put bollards up so that we can have food trucks, things of that nature out there.
Markets.
The boardwalk is considered a public amenity, so it was like
Fun.
you don't have to be at any particular business or spending money there to go enjoy it. So,
I love this.
and then we've talked to the city, and there's it resurfaced again here recently, but there's also talks about figuring out something about how to integrate Grasslands Park, because it's just what it currently is. It's great. It's a neighborhood park.
It's where I raised my kids, walked around there with the
Yeah.
stroller for hours. Yes, I love it.
But I think the city they have some interest in trying to figure out how to integrate it with our park features and amenities so that
Yeah.
it flows in and out very nicely.
That'd be great. I love that. All good things. That's one thing that I think Midlanders want and crave is just good, positive things for families to do. So thank you for doing that. Okay, I have to take a quick break here. This is where I'm going to ask you for your favorite quote. Adam's like, nobody told me this was coming.
Favorite quote.
Favorite
Oh my
quote.
gosh.
But first, you're going to pull one out of here and tell me what it means to you. So I'm sitting here today in Midland, Texas with Adam Cunyus and Sallie Vega, and we're talking all things the preserve. So pull one out, read the quote, tell me what you think.
Do you want us to read the word or the quote?
Oh, well, you got the helpful card, which is very cool. Now read the quote, yes.
Develop success from failures. Discouragement and failure are two of the surest stepping stones to success. Dale Carnegie.
Oh, what does that quote mean to you?
It's a story of an entrepreneur's career. I mean, it's
Right?
like you make the decision that you want to go do something, and inevitably, you might be able to count on one hand, and even of at least the public perception is that these guys just did everything right and they're gazillionaires now. But
No.
even them, you start out and things don't go right.
Yeah.
And the early businesses that we started, while none of them were failures, none of them were huge successes. And then the story of Dahlia, which rolls into the preserve because it is a part of Dahlia. Currently it's 8 years in the making, and I feel like we're just really catching our stride. So
Yeah.
some perspective to anybody interested in doing that is just go ahead and decide to mark a decade out of your life, and this is what you're going to have to dedicate to do it. But failure is a part of it, and it's the best place to learn. You learn lessons from failure, and that's really the only place to learn them because it hurts.
Absolutely, and I think that's it. There's no what is it? I've heard there's no such thing as climbing a smooth mountain. I mean, there's going to be highs, there's going to be lows, but you're going to learn. along the way. And I love that. Great quote for you. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. What'd
That
you
was
get,
good.
Sally?
I got strong.
Yes, the strong
So
card.
the greatest story in living lies not in never failing, but in rising every time we fall. Nelson Mandela.
Ooh, I love that quote too.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just a great quote for life, for really anything. I think you can apply it to anything, kind of like Adam said, just don't be afraid to fail. That's something I really struggle with that these guys have helped me out with a lot. I am more reserved. I hold back. I'm embarrassed, shy. You probably wouldn't agree because, once I get comfortable, I'm
But
not.
look, you're out here on a podcast today.
I mean,
You're doing
truly,
great.
my
So
mind
proud
is
of
just
you.
blown. But just the amount that I've grown, just being who you surround yourself with,
Yes.
what you fill your mind with, the people teenagers,
Yes.
the people you surround yourself with, they truly do matter, and they will. Your life will change if you just kind of get out of your own way, and I think that's all just being strong.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do y'all have any favorite quotes that you live by?
Quotes, there's so many. I can't really recall any off the top of my head. I actually pulled up. Sally did tell me that you might ask about favorite books.
Yes, I will ask you your favorite book.
Okay, so I've got a whole laundry list depending on different types of books.
Oh, good. We will get to that.
yeah.
In just
Quotes,
a second.
I
That's
can't-
awesome. Do you have one?
I do. I put it everywhere. I tell my kids all over my house. It's in my office. It's everywhere, and it's just pretty simple. I get to ... And
I love that.
Just a mind shift that I really had to put in place when just different times in my life. It's shifting to gratitude, and you don't have to do anything. You don't need to do anything. You get to do. And that's just really helped me. And
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I love that.
I do
Perfect.
too. It's everywhere.
It is. That's amazing.
I'd probably get it tattooed if I wasn't such a chicken, but I'm not doing that.
Same.
Yeah.
It sounds too painful.
Yeah,
But I love that. That
Yeah.
is great. And I think that's the great thing about what y'all are doing. You get to provide
We do.
something for families and for generations to come that will enjoy and use. And so I am just so excited to see where the preserve goes, the zoo, all of this, and all the other great projects that we have coming, to
Absolutely.
West Texas, because this is an exciting time, I believe, for our community, with the average age being not my age, a lot younger than my age.
Yeah.
I believe it's in the 30s, low 30s, and I think that is exciting that you're providing that.
Well,
for
and I
them.
think the biggest, what did we hear? The biggest age group in Midland is 0 to 3 years old.
Yeah,
And
because
so-
those 30-year-olds are having they're having
Oh,
lots
they're
of babies.
Popping them out. They're popping them out.
Lots and lots of babies.
One thing that I do want to mention, just because I have been around these guys for so long, that is one thing that I appreciate just as a Midlander, is they don't have to do this.
Yes.
Dahlia as a company is an industrial real estate developer, and we could do that all day long. And we
Right.
don't have to do these guys don't have to do the preserve.
Yeah.
They do it because they're passionate about our community. It makes me emotional. I don't know why.
That's good. That's good,
they're
because you're passionate about it too.
parents, they're local, they're here, they're here to stay, they want to stay. We all kind of want to be here, and I really appreciate that, just as a Midlander, that people are willing to just pour into our community. It's really awesome. It's a
agree.
good thing. So.
I agree.
There's a lot more money to be made in industrial than there is
There is, yeah. We
big
could
commercial
go.
development.
Right, I bet.
go.
Well, and I appreciate, and this is why I'm wearing my green today, the green space.
Yeah.
Because I love hearing the birds chirp every morning when I'm out there walking. I love seeing, I love that is going to be preserved, pun intended, preserved as well.
Well, that's where the name came from, right?
Okay,
Yeah,
fantastic.
There was a website, and I don't know if it's still up or not, but originally in 21, when the residents of Grasslands kind of coordinated it with their opposition against the then proposed plan,
Right.
there was 5 bullet points, and I can't remember. I think it was savenuevavista.com or something
Yeah.
like that.
Right.
And we really genuinely took those 5 points and how do we integrate this into a plan that where we can still be a profitable endeavor, but try to pay homage to what it is and what the residents want. And preservation of natural space is pretty high on that list. I think it was the number 1 bullet point.
I think it was, yes.
And so that's where the name came from, and that was our intent with the design, was to try to our portion of Nueva Vista, it's a 223 acre tract. The zoo's 51. We have about 172. Over 100 acres is open to the public, park space to, live life. And
I love that.
For anybody. And could be a lot more profitable if we did things a little bit differently. But
We've rented that space.
It's like a gift.
but we
It's a
wanted
gift
to.
back to the community.
It is.
Because I want it for my kids.
Right.
Ian wants it for his children. Reed wants it for his children. Sally wants it for her children.
Yeah. I want it for my children.
yeah,
I'm throwing my name in there.
Everybody.
I love
everybody,
it. No,
yeah.
I do. I think
It's
it's
Just so
great.
healthy, and Midland, I don't think has always had the healthiest history. There's a lot of drinking, a lot of partying in Midland, and it's nice to shift more
is.
towards a healthier lifestyle. Lots of walking, lots of
Yeah.
good food. You could go have a good food on a patio and have a margarita, but
Right.
just lots of running and active and movement and the zoo, and it's really cool.
That's funny you say that, because when I moved here 26 years ago, I moved here from California. Don't judge me.
Uh-oh.
I got here as quick as I could when I moved here from California.
You were early wave.
Yes, I would walk to places, because in California I walked everywhere.
Yeah.
And so I was literally walking across the street, and somebody said, "Excuse me, do you need a ride?" I'm like, "No, I'm just walking across the street because I want to. I get to." Right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I love to walk. But it was so funny. You didn't see people walking around town. It just wasn't. But now with Centennial Park
Yes.
and with the Summit and with now with the Preserve, we're going to see more people
Yes,
walking
yes.
to go eat, and
Yeah.
which I love. So.
It is. It's nice.
Great job. I love the Preserve. Let's talk about communication, how people can find out the good things happening at the Preserve and stay up to date, because you're all over social media. So how can they find the updates as this project progresses toward an opening?
We have an Instagram page, and we have, I believe, a LinkedIn page, and then there's a website,
We
thepreservemidland.com.
have Facebook too, right?
And we have Facebook. So everything is the Preserve Midland, I believe.
Fantastic. So yeah, so you can go on there. You can follow along, ask questions. You guys are here for the community.
Please add us.
So yeah, just
Yeah,
ask.
follow along. Yeah.
Yes, that'll be fun. Is there anything about the project we haven't talked about today before I get into those fun questions, like your favorite book, Adam?
I think that we've signed some tenants up. We want to wait until we kind of have critical mass. So we're looking for 2 or 3 more. Hopefully here in the next 2-3 months we'll probably make an announcement with a handful of people that are either going to purchase and build their own, or rent or like lease from us. As far as restaurants, shops go, activity-based stuff, there's gonna be a lot of cool stuff. So
Yeah.
That'll be fun to hear.
I don't want to name drop yet, but
Oh, I was
We
hoping.
can't.
I'm hoping you'd give at least a restaurant or something to get our
Yeah.
hopes up. Maybe stop the rumorville going. Because there's always rumors out there. Oh, we're gonna get this. We're gonna get that. So no, we don't want to name drop
If
yet.
anybody knows how to get Trader Joe's here,
Oh, wouldn't that be amazing?
bring them.
If you have a Trader Joe connection, please tell
Holla,
them.
holla. Yeah.
You know how awesome that would be? I could walk to get groceries.
You could.
This is that. That would change my world. Yeah.
well, that is one of the largest, most consistent requests we get for that side of town, of not trying to have to schlep over 191 to go to HEB, is to have something a little bit more, curated and smaller, like market style, and we're working on some options for that.
Awesome.
Unfortunately, it's not Trader Joe's, but I think everybody will be happy.
It'd be,
Oh,
just as good.
I'll be happy with anything.
And I think if people are interested in leasing, or they want to bring a concept and they have a connection, you can reach out to us at info@thepreservemidland.com.
Okay. Fantastic.
Send us an email.
Well, we're excited. Can't wait. Oh, I have a question that I could ask. Where's the zoo actually going to be? Because, if you're looking at, let me think. If
I
you're
can't
going,
even remember the name or the number of the holes, but it's the south side of the old golf course.
okay, so if you're looking at the white picket fence along Callaway, where's the zoo from there?
If you're on the south end of Callaway, it's just back kind of to your left, so like southwest a little bit.
So behind Scarborough Elementary, behind
Yeah, it'd be
Grassland
like
Park.
due west of Grasslands Park and Scarborough.
Okay, there you go. For my neighbors that have asked.
Yeah.
There you go. Now you know where the zoo will be. That's exciting. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So happy to see such positive family-oriented growth in West Texas.
Yeah.
And thanks for being a part
Thank
of
you
it.
for
We
having
can't
Yeah,
wait.
us.
absolutely.
All right, now those fun questions. Favorite things. You ready? We'll start with favorite books since you already mentioned books and you have them ready.
Okay, let's see here.
I'll let him
I have
take
to
that
call
one.
up my Audible.
I'm not a reader.
I'm an Audible. I love listening because I'm in the car a
Makes it
lot.
so easy.
Oh yeah, it's great.
So there's a book called Mastery by Robert Greene.
Okay.
And it just goes
Write it
over
down.
a lot of historical figures and then also some contemporary figures who figured out how to master their craft or trade. And it's
Okay.
pretty diverse. I mean, it's all your classics like Leonardo da Vinci and Henry Ford and who else? Winston Churchill. But then, more contemporary, and it was a fascinating story. He spends a lot of time on it about a lady named Temple Grandin.
Okay.
And she had autism, and I believe, I don't know if I have this exactly right, but I think she developed like the very first squeeze chute for cattle
Wow.
because animals helped her, and she was really gravitated toward farm animals, and then so she figured out how to design a squeeze chute or improve the design of a squeeze chute, and somebody that unless you were in that business probably don't know about, but
Yeah.
Anyways, it's a fascinating book, but
Okay.
I think
Love that.
the main theme of it is everybody has different gifts, and you got to figure out what yours are, and how do you harness those and leverage those and do what you want to do in life. So it's pretty
Love
cool.
That sounds like a great book.
And then history books, Dan Jones, he writes, like, if I'm an Anglophile, so he writes about the Plantagenet dynasty of English royalty. He writes about Henry V. He writes about the Templars. He writes about the War of the Roses. I mean,
Okay.
so like basically from William the Conqueror all the way down to basically Henry Tudor.
It
So
was Dan Jones is the author.
Yeah.
So our son is a huge history book reader. So I'm going to suggest those to him. Yeah.
they're long,
Dan.
but they are, and they're detailed, but
Yeah.
they are. He writes a great narrative of it, so it keeps you engaged.
Oh, I
for
love
sure.
it. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Do you have any
Yeah.
favorite books you want to throw out?
No, I'm
Let's
more
go
of
to
a
restaurant.
podcast girl.
Oh, let's go to podcast. Favorite podcast.
Krista Escamilla Show.
Thank you, Sally. I appreciate
I'm a long
that.
form. I love long form podcasts.
Do you? I do too. 'Cause-
Tim Ferriss.
Yeah.
Huberman. Joe Rogan.
Yes.
Um,
all of Al's favorites.
yeah,
Those are
those
all his
are-
favorites
yeah.
Who's
too.
the English guy? Chris.
Modern Wisdom. That's
Modern
a good
Wisdom.
one.
Okay.
Great
Good.
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah. Long form.
Okay.
So,
I love
yeah,
that. That's
cool.
great. Favorite restaurants in West Texas?
Ooh. I'm a huge Monterey fan.
Me too.
I love the Lopez family. And I'm also a big Spitz fan.
Oh, I love Spitz too. Those little, what's the little ball that?
Falafel?
Yes, the falafel. Thank you.
Yeah.
Everything.
I love a falafel.
I love Spitz.
Oh my goodness.
Monterey and
and I
Spitz,
could
and
never
I'm happy.
remember that name. Thanks for.
No worries.
I love the falafel.
Yeah.
Those are great. Thanks for shouting them out.
Yeah.
We haven't had, and I'm vegetarian of almost 30 something years.
Are you really?
And so I love the options that they have there.
Yeah.
The falafel. Yeah, that's
There you
great.
go.
All right, Adam, favorite restaurants?
So for tacos, like Wall Street Cocina down on A and Wall, they're
Yes.
fantastic. And then
The birria.
yeah, it's very good.
Good. Okay.
And then I also like Don Tomas, which is out
yeah.
Yeah.
Holiday Hill and in the Loop.
One of our faves. Yeah.
They're I never say it right. The Asadero.
Asado.
Okay. No, not the asado.
Yeah, it's asado.
I didn't know they had
Asadero.
asadero.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes. Yes.
And then they have like assume their homemade flour tortillas are
Oh,
about
yeah.
the best
So
in
good.
town.
Good stuff.
Yes, I
They're
agree.
really good.
We are big foodies at
Yeah.
the office.
I
so
love
we-
it. I love it.
We eat a
Same.
lot.
In Rio Grande, down on Wall Street, like in Midkiff.
Okay.
It's like a rotisserie chicken place. Is that
Okay.
kind of their thing?
Oh yeah.
I don't think we've tried that. That
we
one
go
either.
we go
Okay.
down there. That's a in heavy rotation.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
there you go. Because don't you find it's funny you say rotation because we call it our little bubble, like our little triangle. Sorry, I didn't mean to just bonk the microphone there. But The bubbles that we live in, that's why I always ask favorite restaurants.
Yeah.
So that when we do want to step outside of our little bubble, we can try something new and get out of the triangle.
And y'all have eaten at Don Tomas?
Love Don Tomas.
Yeah,
That's
legit.
So our 16-year-old, he loves it there. So we've gone quite a few times. But they close it too. So sometimes I'll think of them and I'm like,
it's too late.
It's 1:45. I better get over there. Or if it's 2:10, I'm like, I missed it today. But
they need more space, and we have a
on.
lot of space
Hey.
that we
Come on.
deserve.
There you go. The little invite right there. That would be awesome.
And they're always full every time
We
we go in.
selfishly want to bring all of our favorite people.
I love that.
So we're gonna office there.
That's a great idea. So coffee shop. I'm sure
Yes,
you guys are,
lots of
right
coffee.
now you're
12 gate.
okay.
Gelato, ice, whatever. We'll eat anything.
I was gonna say, I'm sure you guys are romancing some good coffee shop to come
we
over
dream,
there.
Yeah, we dream all day. So.
I love that. So 12 Gate's your favorite?
It's really good.
It is really
Yes.
good. Love
We
it.
love 12 Gate.
They invited us to do a cupping, which is like a wine tasting, but for coffee.
Ooh, love that.
And so we went and did that, and then afterwards Sally had to leave, so she didn't get to try one. But the brown sugar latte is like the best latte I've ever had in my entire life.
Okay, I'm gonna go get that.
And like
That's-
everyone says that.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
is so good and so simple.
Yeah, brown sugar. And what's not good with brown sugar? I mean,
Right.
like anything named
Yeah,
brown sugar is
nothing.
so good.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go try that one. That is
Yeah, you have to.
fantastic.
It's
Love that.
really good.
Okay, favorite fun fact about you that we would not know by reading your bio.
Oh, you go first.
Sally said, "Oh."
I can bite the top off of a Coke can.
Okay, fun fact. Yeah, we would not know that on your bio.
No.
And how did you discover this, Adam?
I was in high school, and David Letterman used to have this bit that he did on his show where he'd have just randos in that had some skill that was unique. And so some guy, it wasn't biting, but he would bite little holes all the way around a Coke can, and then he could peel the top off.
Okay.
Well, I started playing around with that, and then I figured, and my dentist is going to shoot me. But
Sorry, Adam's dentist.
I think this is your canine, but you can actually slide that can around it like a can opener, and I can take it right off and about like that.
This is great. See, not only did you learn a fun fact, you learned a life skill that you can try. That is
and it
great.
translated in children earmuffs, but when I was coming up in the field and I worked on drilling rigs, and you can't smoke, but you can dip. And that's a great way to make a spitter. So
there you go. Learning lots today. Lots. That's a great fun fact. I love that. All right, what's your fun fact, Sally?
I wasn't nervous at all till just now. I like my brain is just blank. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, you're a mom, so you're a super mom. So because any mom that is a sports mom, I will say we.
But you would know that reading my bio because I would have slid it in there somewhere.
That's
so
right.
yeah, I think I'm just an open book. I don't know. I can't think of anything.
So you're an outdoor sports mom, right?
I am.
So I have this funny thing. So I was at a golf tournament with one of my kids the other day, and it was freezing. The wind was blowing. Hair was like this, right? And I thought of a funny meme. And since you're a sports mom, you'll appreciate this. Ready? So the funny meme would be, you see the cute indoor sports mom that's watching volleyball and has all the cute makeup on, full. She looks adorable. She's great. She's all decked out in her kid's sports outfit, right?
Oh yeah.
And is cheering them on. And then you see us outdoor sports moms, and we look like we have just been through a tornado.
Yes.
Like literally.
Yes.
And we're like, outdoor sports mom versus indoor sports mom.
Well, and what's even worse is the little siblings. The sports siblings. They're just like little orphans, and they live off of concession stand nachos and like beg for extra Sprites. They're just they're just gonna raise themselves. So
yes.
My daughter she's a go-getter.
I love it. I love it.
She grew up on baseball bleachers.
Yes, on popcorn and hot dogs.
Yeah, she's fine.
She's great. She's thriving. Yeah. She's doing great. I get that 100%. Yeah. Well, we're coming to the end of our podcast. Before we do that, I always like to ask favorite life hack. So is there a life hack that makes your life easier?
Yes.
What is it?
This is like really cheesy, but I think
love cheesy.
Being on the same path with your husband is just
good.
The biggest life hack.
That's so good.
It's helped us a lot in parenting, marriage, health and fitness, and I think being on the same road together is, when I'm weak, he's strong. When he's strong, we just play off really well off of each other. And
Love that.
I think it's because we have the same just goals,
Right.
Financial, whatever.
Right.
That's been the biggest life hack for me.
I
We
love
haven't
that.
always been on the same page. But
That is a great life hack. I love
That's
that.
cheesy.
Thanks for sharing. No, I think it's
Thanks, babe.
perfect. Oh, it's so sweet. I love that. Can't wait to meet your husband someday. That's awesome.
He's awesome.
Adam, favorite life hack? Something makes your life easier.
Do the stuff you don't want to do early in the day,
Ooh, that's
Yes,
a good one.
That is a good one.
because
My husband's
I'm
shaking
a
his head over there.
terrible procrastinator, and so if I
talk
don't get
yourself
it
out.
done, I'm just like, oh, I'll do it later, and then you don't do it.
That's awesome. Great life hacks. It was so nice to meet y'all and get to hear your story and what you're doing. And I'm so just excited for the future of the northwest part of Midland and everything that's going to happen out there at the preserve.
That
So,
whole side of
thank you.
town is just going to be awesome.
It really
It
is.
is.
With what Colin Sewell's doing and the syndicate and
Costco about
Yeah,
to
Costco.
open.
And then
There's a
we
Panda
heard-
Express right by the house.
Yeah, that's lovely.
I think we didn't get many details, but right
new
next
development.
right next to Costco, they're gonna do another big retail development there. So there's
Avalon.
Avalon.
Yes, I
Avalon's
did just read
Landing
that.
or
Yes,
something?
Avalon Landing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, that side of town. I mean, Midland and Odessa are ultimately going to grow together.
Right,
think so,
right.
And
yeah.
it's been trending that
Bass
way for a
Pro.
while.
Yes.
But yeah, lots of good things to come on the west side.
Very good things. Well, thank you so much. Follow The Preserve on Facebook, on Instagram. They have a website. But most importantly, we just want you to just enjoy all the great people that are pouring into West Texas.
Yes.
You are one of many that are just really giving back, and I appreciate that as a Midlander. So thank you so much. And we also, any final parting words? No? Okay.
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you so much. We hope that you will share this with someone that maybe has been asking questions or lives in that area, or you just want to share this with a friend or family that wants to hear some inspiration today, because we heard some great quotes today and some really fun facts as well, and enjoyed the time together. We also want to thank our sponsors. So thank you to our sponsors for making this happen. We appreciate each and every one of you. And for you, the listeners, thank you for your time. Your time is precious, and we have enjoyed riding in the car with you or in your AirPods and as you're going for your walk or your run or heading to a sporting event. And we just really want to grow and listen and learn together. So thank you for that. I think that's it. So shout out to all of you who are here, and don't forget to dream big, believe, and never give up. You make it a great day.